what do you know? Price increases across the board from Samsung. We all knew this was coming. Last week, Apple basically increased the prices of all their products. Samsung soon to follow. We got pricing information on the new foldables from Samsung. Before we get into the specific prices of the new foldables that are going to be launched on July 22nd at the Samsung Unpacked event, getting into pricing, I'm going to go over some prices here. These are in euros, and it's not always a one-to-one comparison. So if Samsung launches a phone in Europe for 1,000 euros, it's not going to be $1,000. There is obviously a little bit of a conversion there, and they tweak the prices depending on, different variables. I'm sure it depends on a lot of variables. So it's not going to be an equivalent conversion. However, I'm going to convert it for you just to show you how shocking, how much of an increase this really is. So when I give you the euro price and the dollar price, just know it's not going to be the exact conversion, one-to-one conversion from euros to dollars, but it's going to be pretty close. Like it'll be, I don't know, $50, $75. I went back and looked. It's not too far off. So these are going to shock you. So the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 8, the 256 gig, is going to be 1,299 euros. 1,300 euros for the base model Flip 8. Insane. That is the equivalent to $1,400, basically almost $1,500, $1,486 to be specific. $1,500? Are you shitting me? For the base Flip 8? That is insane. Now, that would be a price increase because remember, the Z Flip 7 started out brand new, base model, $999, essentially $1,000. Now, what I think they're going to do is I think we're going to see this come in at, instead of $1,486, US dollars, I think what they're going to do is essentially launch it at $1,399, which is still mind-boggling. It's mind-blowing. They're going to raise it freaking $400? Really? $1,299? Okay, $300? Like, that's still insane. So get ready because it gets worse from here on out. So the 512 variant, the Z Flip 8 512 gigs is 1,499 euros, essentially 1,500 euros for a Z Flip 8 512. That's the equivalent to $1,700, $1,715 for the 512 variant of the Z Flip 8. Now, the real price is going to be? Man, I don't know, 1,500, 1,600. I mean, this is crazy. It's a lot. Now, let's get into the foldables. It gets even more insane. So the base Z Fold 8. So this is going to be the new wide body. Base model 256 Z Fold 8. 1,999 euros, 2,000 euros for the base Z Fold 8, the wide body. That's the equivalent to $2,287 US dollars. Almost $2,300 starting price. What do I think it's going to be at? I don't know, probably $2,000, but maybe $1,999, something like that. The 512 model for the Fold 8, the wide body, in euros is 2,199 euros. So 2,200 euros for the 512 model. That comes out to $2,516. Now the 1 terabyte model is 2,600 euros, 2,599. That's the equivalent to a few dollars shy of $3,000 for the 1 terabyte model Z Fold 8 wide, $2,973. In freaking insane. What do I think they're going to price it at? Probably 1 terabyte model, I don't know, 2700, 2600. This is really crazy. I don't see anybody buying these. Honestly, we'll get into the carriers in a second for all the US buyers, but let's get into the Ultra. This is the Ultra. What does the Ultra mean? More expensive. Let's go, baby. So the base model Z Fold 8 Ultra 256, base model 2200 euros. 2200 euros, base model converted to US dollars, $2,516. $2,516. That's essentially $1,000. Nah, it's like what, $700 or $800 over last year's model. What do I think they're going to price it at? Realistically, when it hits the market in US dollars, because remember, it's not one-to-one conversion, so just because it equals $2,516 doesn't mean Samsung's going to list it at that. It's usually, remember, I went to go look before I recorded this, so usually they'll drop it a couple $100 under what the one-to-one equivalent is to euros, to US dollars. So I think they'll probably start this, the base model of the Z Fold 8 Ultra, I don't know, $2,300. What did I say the Fold 8 is, the wide body? That's base model equivalent of $2,287. They'll probably start that out at $1,999. I think I said that, but that's what I'm guessing. The wide body is going to, the base model of the wide body is going to be cheaper, a little bit cheaper than the base model regular Ultra. Well, you know what I mean. See, why did they change these names? The Z Fold 8 Ultra, I mean, it's going to be, the wide's going to be a couple $100 cheaper than the Ultra. So they'll probably start that out at $2,300. Let's jump up. So the 512 gig Z Fold 8 Ultra is going to be 2,400 euros, 23.99. That's the equivalent of 2,745 US dollars for the 512 model. 2,745. Take a couple $100 off of that. That's probably going to be 2,500. So they'll probably do the 256 Z Fold 8 Ultra at 2,300. They'll probably do the 512 gig Z Fold 8 Ultra at $2,500. And then the most expensive one, the 1 terabyte Z Fold 8 Ultra, is going to be 2,800 euros. 27.99 to be exact for the 1 terabyte Z Fold 8 Ultra. That's up from 200. That's up 280 euros over last year. Essentially, almost $300 of an increase in euros compared to last year. Now, if you convert that to US dollars, that's the equivalent of 3,202 US dollars. I repeat, $3,200 for the 1 terabyte Z Fold 8. Now, I think Samsung's going to drop the price a couple $100 for the real US price right at $29.99. So essentially $3,000 for the 1 terabyte Ultra model. Now, that's not the only thing they raised prices on. The watches are getting more expensive as well, which sucks. It is what it is. Let's review these real quick, and I'll predict the sales of these. I think you know where that's going. Samsung Galaxy Watch 9 40mm Bluetooth is up to 409 euros, which is the equivalent of 468 US dollars. Yikes, that's up 40 euros from last year. Probably going to do the same thing with the US equivalent. They'll probably throw an extra $50 on top. That does, again, equal 468 bucks. Probably come to, I don't know. I'm not too familiar with wearables. I don't like wearables. But the Galaxy Watch 9 40mm LTE model, 459 euros. That's up 50 euros from last year, and that is the equivalent of 525 US dollars. Now let's go to the wider, bigger screen. So the Galaxy Watch 9 44mm Bluetooth version is 439 euros. That's up 30 euros from last year. That's the equivalent of 502 US dollars. The Galaxy Watch 9 44mm LTE model, 489 euros, which is up 30 euros from last year, which is the equivalent of 559 US dollars. Now let's get into the Samsung Galaxy Watch Ultra 2 LTE, 749 euros, which comes out to 857 US dollars. Whew. So that's not good. So what does this mean? Well, it means not good sales for Samsung. So they essentially look, they're in a tug of war with profits. We all know their mobile division's not doing too good, but they're raising prices so they don't lose money. Now it's up to you and me, the consumer, to buy this or not. Now, y'all know, or maybe you don't, but I know a lot of subscribers of my channel know I've had every single flip every year launched. I love the flip. I don't like the foldables, but I love the flip. But this is going to be the first year I'm not going to buy one. I just don't see the point, right? If they're going to be raised, again, they don't send me, well, Nothing's the only company that sends me stuff device-wise, but who's going to buy this? And I know some people are going to say, well, I'll just get one at the carrier. Well, guess what? Your carrier cost is going to get more expensive because going from essentially, I don't know, 38 bucks a month if you finance it through T-Mobile and add it to your plan, well, it's going to jump up to 50 bucks a month, potentially 55. What about 60? So it's going to be a price increase across the board. Now, are they going to sell some? Of course, there's going to be people that buy this, but are they going to break records? No. In fact, I think Samsung is going to be shocked at the numbers coming back later in the year with the sales of these. I think pre-orders are going to be very low. I think sales numbers are going to be very low. And I think this is going to be a slap in their face. Now, which model do I think is going to sell the best? Well, I think the wide foldable, the new wide body, I think that's the one to get if you ask me. And I'm not even a foldables person, but I think that style, I think that's the one that's going to sell the most units. I know Samsung's production numbers don't say that. They think the traditional foldable that looks like the Z Fold 7, the new one, the Z Fold 8 Ultra, Samsung thinks they're going to sell more of those, but I don't believe so. It's more expensive. Plus, I think people are more intrigued with the wide body. I just don't see anybody buying this in mass quantities, in mass numbers, right? So I think they're going to see a drastic decline in sales. This is not good news because nothing raised prices. Samsung is raising prices. Apple's raised prices. And getting to the S27 model or series, those prices are going up. I just hope we don't see price increases like this. And I have a bad feeling that we are. I have a bad feeling that they're not just going to raise it 50 bucks or 100 bucks like I was kind of saying or estimating in the past. I was thinking, oh, you'll see a small increase, $50, $100. No, it looks like it's going to be a big increase, like 200 bucks, 250, possibly $300 on your next Galaxy device, which is mind-blowing. But if Samsung does want to reduce the hit to its consumers, Samsung, you gotta absolutely give us better trade-in deals. You can spur the launch of these devices. And I'm not just talking about these foldables. I'm talking about like the S27 Ultra, which is what I'm going to buy in the future. You got to give us good trade-in deals. So if you're going to be asking, what is the S26 Ultra start off at? What was it? Base model was $1299, right, for the 256. And then I know they raised prices on all the other storage variants. But if they raise the price, let's say it's a bad one, let's say $300 on the 512 gig, because that's probably what I'm going to get, S27 Ultra. Let's say they raise it $300 on the S27 Ultra 512 gig. Well, I think Samsung, you need to increase our trade-in value for our previous years. Well, not just the previous year, but trade-ins all across the board. A lot of people didn't upgrade to the S26 Ultra, so a lot of people still have the S25 Ultra. Well, you need to increase the trade-in values of those to sort of take the hit off of us. And I don't know, y'all work it out. I'm talking to Samsung. Y'all deal with it. But if you want people to buy these phones, you're going to have to tease us with something, because not many people are going to buy, okay, so if you give us our regular trade-ins, well, it's already expensive trading in my previous year's flagship. I still got to pay for $500 on top of my previous year's flagship. Well, now you want me to pay $800 on top of previous year's flagship? No, that's not. y'all are going to be, I'm talking to Samsung here, not the viewers, unless Samsung is viewing this. Y'all are going to be shocked at the decline in sales. I'm telling you, you're going to see a drastic decline if you do not do something to, like, throw us a bone here, like help us out. Like we want to use the latest tech. We want to use and purchase your newest products, but at some point people are just going to say I just can't feasibly reasonably come up with some reason to purchase this new phone when y'all make good phones. Not everybody needs to upgrade every year. So if you want us to upgrade every year, you're going to have to throw us a bone. You're going to have to give us some incentive to upgrade. And I think you're going to have to increase these trade-in values to kind of level off some of the hit that we have to take back onto y'all. So do us a favor. Give us better trade-in values so we can look forward to your latest tech. Because if you don't do that, I don't see really any other way you can, throwing in a free pair of buds or, half off your watch, whoop-de-friggin' do. I don't care about, that stuff. It's the main dollar. It's the bottom line. It's the bottom dollar is what everybody's concerned about. Yeah, free buds are nice, whatever, but it's the bottom line. It's the price. It's what's coming out of the pocket. That is the main determining factor if I'm going to upgrade to your new device or not. So I think Samsung's going to need to do us all a favor because they're hitting us across the head, across the face with a baseball bat with these prices. This is insane. It sucks. It sucks. So it is what it is. Stay tuned to the eSIM Studios YouTube channel, and I'll keep everybody up to date with what's going on. And if you're interested in these foldables, subscribe. We're still going to cover this, right? I may not get one, but I'm still going to cover it. So if you are potentially going to get one, subscribe to the channel. I'm probably going to go live on the 22nd when these products do launch, just so we can, because that's when the prices will be confirmed, and we'll be able to discuss this and see if Samsung does give us an opportunity to purchase these with increasing the trade-in values. We're going to cover everything. So appreciate the time. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all on the next one. Peace.